Checking. Check. I'm on radio. And tie line. And mic one. Check. Check. All right, just tell me when it's good. When you hear it, it's good. Welcome to Tasca Arena, where tonight we find out who wins the District 4-5A tournament. And your Hobbs Lady Eagles, of course, at home against maybe, for many people, a surprising opponent in this final game of the district tournament. I'm Dawn Morgan alongside TJ Miracle and Jonathan running camera. And we are here to bring you tonight's game on Lee County News and Sports YouTube, Facebook for Eagle 100.5, also on the radio on Eagle 100.5 FM and HobbsAmerica.com. Lots of places to get us, and they're all free. So we are going to be seeing the Hobbs girls take on Clovis in this game. And just by virtue of how the regular season district games went, and the regular season came out, which was with Hobbs winning the outright regular season by virtue of a tie game and a tie win against Carlsbad, we really expected that Carlsbad would win last night or on Thursday night and be in this game for the district tournament championship. And that's not how things went. These Clovis ladies actually won their way into this spot, and they did that by beating Carlsbad last night, 25-19 in Carlsbad. But on Tuesday night, Clovis beat Roswell 52-40 to get into last night's game, and then defeated Carlsbad to earn their spot against the Hobbs Lady Eagles tonight. The Hobbs girls have beaten Clovis 61-14 already this season. The second time they met, it was 73-42 a victory, but you'll notice Clovis did come a long way between those two games, scoring only 14 the first time they met, scoring 42 against the Lady Eagles the second time they met, and now in the district tournament championship, the Hobbs girls just need to score one more point than Clovis in order to win it and to move on to the state tournament, which they will do no matter who wins tonight. The Hobbs girls are ranked number 1 in 5A in New Mexico and number 1 in 4-5A in the district, and now are going to look to just seal all of the hardware, to grab all the trophies, the regular season trophy, the district tournament trophy, and then move on into the state tournament. But they have to play the game tonight against Clovis, and these girls for Clovis have got to be pumped up tonight, TJ, coming off that win against Carlsbad on Thursday.
Well, they certainly do. Really, the only team that's been able to handle Hobbs, or rather Carlsbad really at all this year, has been the Carlsbad Cave girls, and so Clovis, yeah, you're right, absolutely excited, and they're fighting, there's a lot on the line tonight for both of these teams. As you mentioned, Hobbs trying to win all the district hardware, but on the line for Hobbs tonight, also that number 1 seed. Hobbs gets the win. I don't think there's any way they can make them not the number 1 seed going into the state tournament.
Right.
Clovis comes in right now, at least in the Max Preps power rankings, and there's a whole lot of things that go into seeding tomorrow, but they are number 9 right now in the state in 5A according to Max Preps. A win tonight for Clovis would actually probably wind up getting them a home game next weekend, so that's something they would definitely like to see. And Hobbs definitely doesn't want that to happen. They want to make sure that they're the number 1, that they get all the hardware, and that they go from here. Clovis, I mean, you've seen them twice here in district play. We saw them numerous times in non-district play, covering other teams like Lovington. And this is a team that, for the most part, and I'm talking about Clovis here, they play up to their competition or they play down to their competition. They're a little bit inconsistent at times, but if they come out and they play up to Hobbs, it could be one of those games more like the second time we saw them as opposed to Carlsbad on Thursday night. And, looking at the score of that Carlsbad game, with it being 25-19, it sounds like that Coach Reed probably intentionally cut the game down in pace. We know Carlsbad is a team that isn't really going to push the pace all that much.
Right.
And Coach Reed probably decided, okay, if they're not going to push the pace, I'm not either. Just dribble, pass, dribble, pass,
sure,
and look for that perfect shot. And then when you get it, you take it. So I don't know if that will be something he thinks about doing tonight against Hobbs, because they want to run and gun.
Right.
But the key for Clovis is going to be to make Hobbs try and play whatever game they decide to play.
Yeah, and as we've seen before, that may work for just a little while, a nanosecond or two against Hobbs, but they generally, will break whatever they're up against. They will break it, and they will break somebody else's press, but they will, usually take over the pace and be able to run their game. And as long as they, they get down, it sounds like Clovis was able to keep Carlsbad, which has really, Carlsbad had the height advantage over Hobbs overall. Sounds like Clovis was able to keep Carlsbad out of the paint to keep them from pressing in. And it sounds like Carlsbad's perimeter game really was non-existent. And therefore, that low-scoring game, just a completely defensive battle with maybe some cold shooting to be thrown in there as well. But tonight, Hobbs girls need to come out on fire. They need to simply play their game, and they need to force Clovis to play the Hobbs girls game.
Yeah, and I think you're absolutely right. If Hobbs can come out and, like you said, make Clovis play their game, it's going to be a very long or very short night, depending on how you look at it, for the Lady Wildcats. And then all Hobbs has to sit back and do is wait for that number 1 ranking tomorrow.
Exactly. And it's worth noting that the 61-14 beat down of Clovis was here at Tasker Arena. Then the second game they played in district was in Clovis, where it was a 73-42 game. And really, it was a little closer in that first half. And then in the second half, Hobbs really was able to distance, get it, and hang on, and then stretch that out toward the end. So this is definitely, it's a game that Hobbs cannot take lightly. They've got to come in and respect Clovis, and from the very first minute, really take this game very seriously and have it in hand firmly and not make mistakes. They, of course, if they win, they will likely be right back here next Friday night, and we'll be playing in the play-in game to the district tournament.
That's the first round of the state tournament.
But the state tournament, and that's what that will be, is next Friday. But they have to play tonight and get this one, seal the deal, and move on. But they will be, they will have the home game next Friday night here at Tasker Arena against whatever opponent, depending on how the seeding goes. And those brackets and the seedings and the brackets will be announced tomorrow afternoon, late tomorrow afternoon, evening.
Right, I believe
so
they're
know that.
I believe they're going to start announcing those about 5 o'clock tomorrow evening. So,
all right.
We should know by 7 where everything is going to shake out.
Okay.
And I have learned with the NMAA, I said this last night, and I'll go ahead and mention again, I have learned never to think this is exactly what's going to happen with the NMAA.
Exactly.
Because if you try that, all you're going to do is pull your hair out. It's going to turn gray, and you're going to need to be committed to an insane asylum.
Right,
but Hobbs should be the number one team if they win tonight, and we should.
We're going to run down rosters right now because they'll be taking a break here in a couple of minutes for the National Anthem school song and announcements. So let's run down the rosters for you tonight. For you're visiting Clovis Lady Wildcats. Number 2 is Brooklyn Zunich, a 5'5 senior. Number 3 is 5'9 junior Zarai Lewis. Number 5 is 5'5 sophomore Gianna Cordova. Number 10 is 5'4 freshman Brent Petner. Number 15 is 5'8 junior Aspen Ulabari. Number 20 is 5'7 sophomore Amanda De La Rosa. Number 22 is 5'7 sophomore Allison Thomas. They call her Allie. Number 23 is 5'6 senior Martha De La Rosa. Number 25 is 5'9 sophomore Katie Archie. Number 30 is 5'8 junior Kaylin Jefferson. Number 33 is 5'10 senior Shalonda Lefevre. Number 40 is 5'6 Giselle Petner, a senior. Number 42 is 5'8 junior Mackenzie Roach. And number 50 is 5'6 senior Erica Dominguez. So definitely Clovis also has some height and some experience. They are an older team than Hobbs. They're a little more accustomed to playing together. They've had more years together, but Hobbs has had them well in hand all season and last season as well. For your Hobbs Lady Eagles, number 4 is 5'4 freshman Madison Cepeda. Number 10 is senior Wisdom Anthony. Number 12 is 5'5 freshman Aliana Armitage. Number 14 is 5'9 sophomore Brett Clay. Number 15 is 5'6 sophomore Nakaya Mojica. Number 20 is 5'5 sophomore Bryn Hargrove. Number 22 is 5'11 sophomore Kendall Cunningham. Number 23 is 5'10 sophomore Jayla David. Number 24 is sophomore Carolina Size. Number 30 is senior Desiree Bosquez. Number 33 is 5'7 8th grader Kaysla Muniz. Number 34 is 6' sophomore Alana Bolton. Number 42, 5'8 junior Tiana Richardson. And number 52 is freshman Kylie Kano. Your starters for tonight for Clovis will be number 2, Zunich. Number 3, Lewis. Number 23, De La Rosa. Number 30, Jefferson. And number 42, Roach. Your starters for Hobbs girls will be number 14, Clay. Number 15, Mojica. Number 20, Hargrove. Number 22, Cunningham. And number 23, David. That's been the starting lineup for head coach Joe Carpenter and his girls for the entire season. So we will take a break and we'll come back and continue our pregame show here at Tasker Arena. I'm Dawn Morgan, along with TJ Miracle and Jonathan on camera, and we will have more Hobbs girls basketball on Lee County News and Sports YouTube, on Facebook, Eagle 100.5 FM, and HobbsAmerica.com. Welcome back to Tasker Arena for Hobbs girls basketball. I'm Dawn Morgan with TJ Miracle along with Jonathan on camera, and we have just about a minute or so left. The Hobbs girls have left the floor, and we've been told that the halftime show today will be the Hobbs Eagle drumline from the band. So, that's interesting. Of course, what you hear behind us is Taskervich. A home game with all the bells and whistles here against Clovis. Nice, healthy crowd in the home stands, both down lower and a few up in the mezz, and a few up in the mezz with us, just below the Eagles' nest. A decent amount of purple there on the visitor side, and even a handful of students on the student side. So this is a Saturday night game, and I'm glad to see this many people here, in person for this important game. This is the District 4-5A Tournament Championship game here between Hobbs and Clovis.
Yeah, great crowd on hand, but if you couldn't be here, we appreciate you tuning in wherever you are in Southeast New Mexico, West Texas, on KEJL, Humble City Hobbs, K263 AZ Hobbs, Eagle 100.5, listening live on the Eagle 100.5 app, and of course live video on the Lee County News and Sports YouTube channel and HobbsAmerica.com. So the Lady Eagles have come out tonight. They are in the home white unis with the white letters and numbers and the little black pinstripe. For Clovis, they are in the road purples with the silver letters. This comes in at 20-7 on the year, 2-4 overall in district, but ranked number 9 in Class 5A on the Max Preps polls. For Hobbs, 23-3, 5-1 in district. Should really be 6-1 in district. And right now,
I've
the
got
top team in the state.
All right, I've got them at 6-1. And, of course, time for a timeout for the National Anthem and School Song. We'll be back with more girls basketball here at Tasker. And welcome back to Tasker Arena as the final strains of the Hobbs School Song in the background. All right, nice job. And it's all the bells and whistles tonight, even the little dribblers, the girls' versions. I think maybe we call them the dribblerettes are here, and the Hobbs girls are set to throw out some mini basketballs in the introduction portion, and we're just about getting ready to have the Clovis Lady Wildcats introduced here at Tasker Arena. And we've gone down those rosters and the starters. Of course, the Clovis High Lady Wildcats are under head coach Jeff Reed, Hobbs girls under head coach Joe Carpenter. And we're expecting, a battle tonight. This is, I still think that everybody is talking about the fact that this is Hobbs Clovis and not Hobbs Carlsbad in this game, as everyone just kind of took it for granted that it would be, TJ.
Well, and I think you're absolutely right. And so you've got to think that the Lady Eagles really spent much of the week preparing for Carlsbad again for the fourth time this season. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, wait a minute. It's going to be Clovis. Of course, when you have these district tournaments and things, anything can happen, really, for the Hobbs girls. So, yeah, they may have been thinking it was going to be Carlsbad, but they know they've taken care of business against Clovis. And I've got to think that they're going to come out. They're just going to play their game. They're not really going to adjust anything other than maybe for some of the matchups. And they're going to come out here and get after them. We talked about it earlier in the pregame show. Hobbs comes out, plays their game, makes Clovis play the Hobbs game. Should be a pretty short night here tonight.
It could be a rocky start just because I think Clovis is riding high. They've got to be coming off of that win against Carlsbad, exceeding everyone's expectations, including possibly their own. And then here and hyped up to, be playing again at Tasker Arena against the Lady Eagles. So you got to figure they're going to come out firing with everything that they have. And the beginning of this game may be very different from the ending of this game. And I think that the Hobbs girls certainly going to they need to hold steady. And even against, I think that Clovis has the potential to come out really hot and heavy and then fade against the relentless press and the defense of the Hobbs girls. And one thing that has served them so well this season is just that suffocating defense, the forcing turnovers. They're a team, I think, that probably has more steals than anybody easily, at least in this district. And I think maybe across
probably
the state.
Yeah.
And they're known, and for their conditioning. I mean, these starters can stay in for a long time and are accustomed to that, but the bench is really strong for the Hobbs girls, and the bench has seen significant minutes against all of the teams in district, including Clovis.
Well, they have, and so a great night tonight for the Hobbs Lady Eagles. Tune up before the playoffs start next week. For Hobbs, win or lose, they'll be here next Friday night, either 6 or 7 o'clock, depending on who they play. And, of course, have to win that one to move on to the Albuquerque portion. For Clovis, they're playing for the possibility of a home game, and if they were to win, I think they would probably seat them in at number 8. But for Hobbs, the home game is assured, but number 1 on the line for them.
All right, starters are on the court, and the basketball is in the center. And the tip-off is now with Jayla David tipping it to Mojica. So Hobbs controls the tip. Mojica's got it right side. Works back center court. Now over to the left outside the arc. Gets it to Bryn Hargrove. Thinks about the 3. Then passes back to Mojica. Then back to Hargrove in the left wing. Into Cunningham. She drives in the lane. Little spin move. Puts it up and in. And Hobbs, just like that, is on the board. 2-0.
Well, and that's what you want to see. They moved it around. They got Cunningham on the baseline in the post. She made a nice little move. Easy bucket.
Coming down the other way, Clovis with the ball. That is number 3, Lewis, running the point. She is the and the pass into Mojica is a pass in is stolen away by Mojica. First steal. She gets it over to Cunningham on the right side. Takes a shot at it, won't fall. Bryn Hargrove with the rebound, then loses the handle on it. But Brett Clay is right there to pick it up in the lane. Puts up a shot, no good. A whistle sounds before, and they're going to say that it was a double dribble. So turnover number 1 by Hobbs. But they also stole the ball, forced a turnover. They just didn't make the points off of it. Coming down, there's a pass down court to Lewis, who drives in underneath the basket, puts it up, no good. And Jayla David skies for the rebound, her first. Actually, her second. Because Hobbs had a couple of looks at the basket and were not able to score. So still 2-0. Hobbs leading. Hobbs working around the perimeter, passing the ball. Now to Jayla David in the left corner. She presses in, no room, gives it to Hargrove. Hargrove pulls up, tries a three-pointer, won't fall, and Clovis with the rebound. Coming down to control it is number 22, that was Allie Thomas. So Thomas gets the ball back, across the timeline, gets it to Lewis, kicks it back out. Thomas pulls up, tries a 3, won't fall. A fight for the rebound, and Jayla David had it, but she had to just push it back. And with, a no-look pass back behind her, and it went to Lewis, but then Lewis traveled. So that's turnover number 2 for Clovis. Give it back to Hobbs. So some fumbles, some starts and stops here early on, but Hobbs still with the lead. They've actually just slowed the pace down a bit. Bryn Hargrove's got it. Drifts back to midcourt, center court. Now passes to Mojica on the right. Oh, a pass, a dangerous one into Clay right there on the right. Blocks is knocked away, almost stolen away by Jefferson, but it'll stay Hobbs girls basketball. Mojica will inbound to the right of the Hobbs basket. Gets it to Cunningham, back to Mojica. She pulls up and pulls the trigger on a tray, and nothing but net. Makes it 5-0 Hobbs girls.
And that's the thing with the Hobbs girls. They can look like they're slowing it down, and then all of a sudden you look up and they're up on a 5-0 run.
Lewis takes it down, Gets it across to De La Rosa on the left. De La Rosa passing over to Allie Thomas in the right corner, and a bad pass goes too high and out of bounds. Third turnover by Clovis.
And that's really just what happens when you press just like they did. Good job on the Hobbs defense.
Yes, very good job, because they're right there keeping their hands in front of the right girls. Hobbs working it around. They get it to Mojica. Mojica drives in the lane, puts it up, and she gets fouled. So count the basket. Are they going to count the basket? They should,
yes.
But they haven't put it up on the score yet. There it goes. All right. I know they should. So Mojica, now with 7 points in the game, goes to the line. And it's up and good. 3 the old-fashioned way. Makes it 8-0 Hobbs girls against Clovis here with 5:28 left to play in the first quarter at Tasker Arena. Clovis in the backcourt. They finally get across the timeline to Lewis on the left, getting worked on by Mojica. Moves over to the right. Oh, and a pass is stolen away by Brett Clay, but then they called. I think they say that she stepped out of bounds.
Yep, just got a little bit wild over there.
Really great hustle, though, as the man. I tell you, Clay has the capability of just kind of being all over everywhere, and she gets kind of wild sometimes, but she has great hustle. Clovis inbounds right to the right of the scorer's table, and nowhere to go by Lefevre in the game for the first time. Oh, and taken away. Second steal. Bryn Hargrove stole it, gave it to Mojica. Mojica takes it down and puts it in, up and in from the right. So a nice steal by Hargrove leads to that, and that's a 10-0 run by the Hobbs girls to start this one, and Clovis wants a timeout. It's just a 30-second timeout. We're going to keep it right here and just acknowledge our sponsors: NMR Pipeline, Thriftway, Hydrotech Services, Coffee House, RMS Foods, Outlaw Grill, Albertsons Market, Eunice Pump and Supply, and Lasco Construction. I'm Dawn Morgan with TJ Miracle, Jonathan on camera here, and this is your District 4 5A Tournament Championship. The Hobbs girls off to a good start, 10-0 here, and so far, so good, and Mojica has most of the points in it for Hobbs so far. She has 7 plus 1 at the line, 8 with 2 from Hargrove, or actually 2 from Cunningham off of the Mojica make those points off the steals. Clovis inbound out of the timeout. They get it in, give it to Lewis across the timeline left side, getting double teamed by Mojica and David. And they pass into Jefferson. She drives the lane, tries to find a shot. Cunningham blocks it out. It goes out of bounds. It'll stay Clovis basketball. But good defense, good hustle, and great clean block by Cunningham. So Clovis will inbound under just to the right of their basket. And they pass it out to De La Rosa. She's trying to drive in the lane. No room. Then they do get it into Lewis. Lewis tries to find room. Cunningham blocking her out. They get it to Jefferson. Jefferson tries it. Cunningham knocks it away. Gets it to Bryn Hargrove. Hargrove takes it down, then gets it to Mojica on the right wing. She tries a shot. It's an air ball, and that'll be Jefferson with the rebound. They get it to Lefevre. Oh, and a nice steal by Hargrove. She was right there, and this time she takes it in herself and puts it up and in. 2 steals and 2 points for Hargrove makes it 12-0. Hobbs girls over Clovis. Lefevre with the ball, gets it to Lewis, kind of a fast break, and then they pass it right into Lewis. Lefevre to Jefferson to Lewis, and Lewis puts it in from the left.
Breaks a 12-0 run, though, and finally gets him on the board at the halfway mark of the first quarter.
Yep, 4:02 left to play in this first. Hobbs with the ball. They bring it down. Hargrove standing right at the top of the arc, pops the net. We'll see, was she on the line or not? Will they call it a 3 or just a 2? They are going to say it's a 3 for Hargrove. She's got 5 points in the game so far. Clovis with the ball. They bring it across timeline. De La Rosa to Lefevre. A bounce pass into Lewis in the lane. She tries to put it up. She short arms it. There's a fight for the rebound, and they're going to call a jump ball as Lefevre and David had their hands on the ball. Arrow goes the way of Clovis. And we've got fresh legs coming in for Hobbs off of the bench. I see Muniz. I see Zepeda for sure. And I did not catch the other 3 girls coming in. David and Cunningham stay in. The other 3 are fresh. Armitage, maybe. Clovis inbounds. Lefevre out top of the arc. Now passes over to De La Rosa in the right corner. Pops the trigger on the 3. Doesn't fall. Fight for the rebound. Will Hobbs get it before they fight for it out of bounds right in front of the Hobbs student section? And it will be Hobbs basketball. So Hobbs will inbound. The ball goes to Zepeda. Zepeda will run the point. Cross timeline center court for Hobbs. 14-2 is your score. Hobbs leading by 12. Bounce pass to Cunningham and the right. And a pass over to Muniz. the free throw line into Zepeda. Now into David. She muscles her way in. Oh, puts it up too hard. A fight for the rebound on the court. Cunningham's down. They're going to call tie ball. It should go to Hobbs this time. It was Clovis ball last time. So good hustle and good fight by Cunningham, who ends up on the floor with it. No, ball goes to Clovis again. Oh, that's right. Clovis inbounds, passing it along. That is, I think, number 23, De La Rosa, taking it across the right. Puts up a shot, won't fall, and it is Lewis with the rebound. The putback no good, and now a free ball on the court. Hobbs touched it but couldn't hang on to it. Lefevre puts it up and in for 2. So 14-4 your score. Hobbs still in the lead by 10. Come down. They pass it to Cunningham. She drives in from the right block. A little spin move up and in and count it and gets fouled. So let's see. They do count the bucket. They should. They haven't put it up on the scoreboard yet. Yes, they do. They count it. So 2 more points for Cunningham. She's got 4 in the game, and she will go to the line. It's 16-4, and the bench players coming off. More subs coming in. That's Mojica, Hargrove, Cunningham, David, and I think that's Bosquez in for Hobbs. It's up and no good. Clovis with the rebound. Oh, and having a little trouble in the backcourt. Good pressure, and Lefevre just loses it. Bounces it off of her own foot, out of bounds.
9th turnover there for Clovis, and yeah, she was too busy figuring out where Hobbs was going to be bringing the pressure and just dribbled it off her own foot.
And Mojica will inbound underneath to the right of the Hobbs basket to Bosquez. Back to Mojica. She's going to drift out, get it to Hargrove now. Hargrove off to David in the left wing. Hargrove and Clay. Clay moves back to the right, gets it to Mojica. Mojica thinking about the 3, now moves in. And pulls back. She's getting worked on. Now she drives in and kicks it out. And the pass goes to Hargrove. She tries a 3. It won't fall. And Lefevre comes down with the rebound, her second. And Lefevre getting worked on by Mojica. Passes it. It almost gets away. Clovis saves it. And now almost taken away by Bosquez. And is. And it's a clean steal. She passes to Hargrove. Hargrove takes it down, puts it up and in from the right. 18-4 now your score. Hobbs over Clovis, and Clovis with the ball still in the backcourt, and a pass intended for De La Rosa leads her too much and goes out of bounds. She tries to corral it, so that's turnover number 11 for Clovis. Thank you. So it'll be Hobbs girls basketball. Mojica into Clay rather. Clay to Hargrove. Hargrove moves around the arc to the left. Leaves it off for Mojica. Mojica gets to the top of the arc, gets it to Clay on the right wing. Clay worked on by Jefferson. Gets it to Hargrove. Hargrove drifts back, top of the arc. Now to Mojica. Hobbs just playing. Now a pass into Bosquez in the lane. She takes it, and they're going to call the foul, a little bump foul, and they are going to call that on number 15, Ulabari. Her first, and it's the 3rd team foul on Clovis. It's on the floor, though, and Mojica will inbound just to the right of the Hobbs basket. She finds Bosquez. Bosquez back to Mojica in the lane to Clay. Oh, Clay puts it up. Point blank misses the layup, but is fouled, and Clovis faithful don't like that. They're booing that. There was a foul on the hand, a little hack foul. They're going to call that on 30, Jefferson. The first on her, the 4th team foul on Clovis. And it puts Clay at the line, her first trip to the line, and up and good. Her first point in the game makes it 19-4. Hobbs with a 15-point lead. Just a minute 9 left to play in this first quarter, as Hobbs has been in control since the beginning, just how we said that they needed to be. Oh, spins in and out and around, and a fight for rebound. That was Roach underneath the basket. It goes out of bounds, but it's going to be Clovis basketball.
Yeah, Mojica got the last hand on it as she was fighting with Roach under there.
Clovis passing in the backcourt, trying to find somebody. They do. They find Lewis. She's going to cross center court, drive into the basket in the right, kick it out to Lewis, or Jefferson rather. Jefferson gets it over. Now De La Rosa has it on the left side. She's going to work center court, drift back, work against Mojica on the left, looking for room. They get it to Jefferson in the right. She drives in, then kicks it out to De La Rosa. She puts up a 3-pointer, won't fall. Jefferson ends up with the rebound, and then her putback from the left is good, and she gets fouled. So Jefferson in the books with 2 points, and the foul is going to be called on Hobbs. And it'll be the first team foul on Hobbs, and it goes against Desiree Bosquez. So Jefferson is at the line. 19-6 is your score now. Hobbs leading. The first up is no good. And with the rebound is Cunningham. I've got her down.
It's Bolton.
Or Bolton, rather. Oops, Bolton. Alana Bolton in the game for Hobbs now. As Hobbs brings it down. Clay controlling top of the arc. Leaves it off for Bosquez on the left arc. Bosquez drives in. Passes it out. Kicks it out to the right. And to Bolton. And a shot is up. No good. And Jefferson will have the rebound. Her second. They leave it off for De La Rosa getting trapped up by Bryn Hargrove. Good smothering defense by Hobbs. Clay all over number 22, Thomas. Oh, and then there's a three-point shot at the buzzer up by De La Rosa. No good. And so your first quarter ends, and it's 19-6. Hobbs girls leading this one. And we'll be back in 1 minute with Hobbs girls basketball on Lee County News and Sports YouTube, Facebook, Eagle 100.5 FM, and HobbsAmerica.com. And welcome back to Tasker Arena. This is Hobbs Girls Basketball on Lee County News and Sports YouTube, Facebook, Eagle 100.5 FM, and HobbsAmerica.com. I'm Dawn Morgan along with TJ Miracle and Jonathan running camera. And your score after the first quarter is 19-6. Hobbs Girls leading all the way in this one against your Clovis Lady Cats. So second quarter begins, and they throw it in. Mojica to Clay. Clay leaves it off for Hargrove. Hargrove to Mojica. Clay's got it right back over in the left wing. Now to Cunningham, back to Clay. She drives in, a little spin move in the lane. She puts it up. No good. It hits the rim, but she is in the act of shooting, and she draws the foul. So she'll go back to the line where she is 1 of 2 tonight. And that foul is called against Jefferson. Second foul on her, and the 6th team foul on Clovis. And it's up and good. So Clay with 2 points in the books tonight makes it 20-6. She'll get another shot at it. And Jefferson is definitely one of the girls that you want to get in foul trouble on Clovis. And the second one up and good as well. 3 points for Clay, all from the line tonight. Clovis with the ball, passing in the back court. Lefevre's got it. Now she decides to drive up. They pass it to De La Rosa into Lewis. Lewis passes it off, gets it to De La Rosa. Now to Lewis in the left corner. She pops a three, won't fall. And Clay with a rebound, a nice rebound, denying a second look for Clovis. Brings it down, passes it off to Bryn Hargrove on the left side. Bryn's going to get nailed by, I think, Lefevre. They call the hack foul, the reach-in foul on Lefevre.
I think so. They're going to whistle it on De La Rosa.
Oh, De La Rosa. Interesting. Okay. So either way, still, it's on the floor.
And Hobbs will be in the bonus on the next one.
That's right. 6th foul on Clovis. They pass it in, get it to Bryn Hargrove. She tries to pop a three from the arc, won't fall, and that's Lewis with the rebound, her first. Brings it down across the right, getting worked on by Hargrove. Leaves it off for Lefevre. Hargrove pops it out, but Lewis controls it, gets it back, drives in the lane, puts it up from the right, and it does fall. So Lewis with 4 points in the game now makes it 21-8. And the Lady Eagles just need to reassert to their dominance here and just bring it down. A little bit of a scoring drought, but they can fix that. Mojica gets the ball, gives it off to Hargrove. Hargrove drives the lane, even against defenders, drives in and puts it up from the right. So she's got 2 more points in the game.
Nifty little move. She found a seam. She took it in.
She's got 8 points in the game, makes it 23-8. 6:31 left to play in the second quarter. Hobbs in control, and a pass from Lewis intended for De La Rosa goes high again. They're trying to keep it out of the hands of Hobbs because they know that Hobbs has the reputation for stealing, for putting the pressure on and forcing turnovers. But the passes, a couple of them have gone too high and out of bounds. So another turnover by Clovis. Hobbs has got it. Cunningham on the left block kicks it out to Hargrove, top of the arc. Hargrove into David. David passes it back, kind of goes awry, but Mojica saves it from going out of bounds, brings it back, and Hobbs resets. Now they get it to David. She's getting worked on, no room. Tries to find some, backs up, puts a little spin move on, won't fall, but right back with the rebound, and the attempted putback is Cunningham, but it goes out of bounds. And so it will be a turnover.
Not really much she could do right there. She was put up right on. Yeah, she was right on the baseline, and Clovis was all over her.
Clovis still in the backcourt. De La Rosa is going to bring it across the left side and pass it over. They get it to Lewis in the right corner, but Clay gets over there and keeps a hand in her face. Ball is loose on the court. Clovis gets it back. They try to put up a shot, but it's stolen away by Clay. A nice steal. She gets it to David. David's going to bring it down and get into the block's left side. Are they going to call? A foul is called, and let's see. They're going to call it against Clovis.
Yeah, it'll be on Thomas as she didn't have the feet set.
Nope,
and David
block foul.
David went right into her, was driving towards the hoop, so now she'll head to the line to shoot 2.
And David has, 3 rebounds in the game now, and her first trip at the line. And, it goes off to the right, so a miss from her at the line, but she'll have another shot at it. As with 17 fouls now, Hobbs in the bonus. And the second shot is up, and that one is good. Rattles home and gives David a point. And it makes it 24-8. Clovis bringing their ball down quickly, and they get it to Lewis in the left corner. She puts up 3, won't fall. Lefevre with the rebound, her 4th. And Lefevre grabs it before she can try to put it up. She is fouled by Hargrove. That's the first foul on Hargrove, and only the second team foul on Hobbs. Yeah. Hobbs is playing very clean tonight.
Very tight and very tough, but
tight
clean.
And tough, but clean. They're not fouling. Knock on wood. And they passes out to De La Rosa. De La Rosa over to Lewis in the left corner, but she's getting worked on by Clay. They get it to Lefevre. She puts up a shot, won't fall. Fight for the rebound. Cunningham has got it. I've got that 4th rebound for Cunningham. Leaves it off for Hargrove. Hargrove brings it down, works it into the left block, then kicks it out to Clay. Clay gets it into David. David is going to work it in, but it bounces and goes off of a foot. They say it goes off of her own foot and out of bounds. So that is turnover, number 4 for Hobbs?
Number 5.
Number
it was
5.
Like watching the Red Sea, or in this case, the Purple Sea Park. Clovis was like, we didn't touch it last.
Clovis with the ball coming the other way. Lewis passes across the timeline, then they pass it back near midcourt to De La Rosa, getting worked on by Hargrove. Hargrove, good hand in her face, now to Lefevre, now to De La Rosa. She pops a tray, won't fall, and Cunningham skies for her 5th rebound, denying Clovis a second look. That's important. Cunningham brings it down, gives it to Armitage in the game for Hobbs now, and Armitage just takes it and pops a 3 from the right corner and makes it 27-8. 4:20 left to play in the second quarter. 27-8, Hobbs leading, and it's going to be Hobbs stepped out of bounds right there.
They trapped him up over in front of the scorer's table.
In front of the scorer's table. And I couldn't see. Yeah. There was so much traffic there. I couldn't see if it got knocked out or whether they stepped out of bounds. Anyway, Clovis inbounding from the scorer's table. They get it to De La Rosa, works it in, a bounce pass in the lane, and a shot up, no good. A shot by Allie Thomas, and Mojica with the rebound in. She gets it to Manise. Manise brings it down coast to coast, lays it in from the right for her first 2. And that was a nice rebound by Mojica and good teamwork. And yes, Clovis needs a timeout to talk about things. And it's a full timeout. We'll be back in 30 seconds with more Hobbs girls basketball. They are leading this one against Clovis 29-8. And you're watching and listening on Lee County News and Sports YouTube, Facebook, Eagle 100.5 FM, and HobbsAmerica.com. Welcome back to Tasker Arena for Hobbs Girls Basketball on Lee County News and Sports YouTube, on Facebook, HobbsAmerica.com, and Eagle 100.5 FM. We are on the radio, and thank you for listening and for watching. We appreciate that. We are here out of the Clovis timeout. 4 minutes, 3 seconds left to play in the second quarter, and your Lady Eagles are ahead 29-8 in this championship game of the District 4-5A Girls Basketball Tournament. Clovis inbounds. And they're going to pass it around, get it to Lefevre. Lefevre down to Lewis. Lewis drives up and in from the right side and puts it in. So 2 points for Lewis, 2 more. She's got 6 in the game.
Lewis has really been about the only thing Clovis has had in the offensive zone tonight. She's got 6 of their 10.
And Hobbs with the ball. Kaislyn Muniz drives in from center, puts it up and in, and she travels, and it is a turnover. And that is turnover number 6 for Hobbs. Give it to the Lady Cats, and the purple will inbound underneath the Hobbs basket. Oh, and it's stolen away. The pass is stolen away by Muniz, but then the Muniz falls on it and could do nothing but just hang on to it. If she were to move and try to get up, that would be a travel. So instead, Clovis came over, got a handle on it. They call it tie ball, and the tie goes to Clovis this time. After all that, it's still Clovis's ball. But still good hustle by Muniz. Clovis. They pass it to Lewis. Lewis crossed the timeline on the right side and drives in toward the lane, kicks it out to De La Rosa on the left wing. Double team on her. And then she kicks it out to Ulabari. Ulabari tries to pop a 3. It won't fall, and it's going to be Mojica with the rebound. Cunningham right with her. Mojica passes off to Muniz in the left corner. She tries a 3. It won't fall. Fight for the rebound. Clovis has got it. And I believe that was Lewis with the rebound. But then the pass, great pressure by Armitage on De La Rosa and forced the turnover. So that is turnover number 15 for Clovis. Mojica's got it from the inbound, gives it to Armitage. Armitage stops at the outside of the arc, tries to pop one. It doesn't go, and Lewis with her 3rd rebound for Clovis. She passes it off. Oh, I think they're going to call a foul, and they're going to call it on Muniz, on Kaislyn Muniz, as Lefevre had the ball, and Muniz just on her a little too tight, and they call it. So that's the first on Kaislyn Muniz, and only the 3rd team foul on Hobbs. Lewis will get the ball, working top of the arc, will spin move, kicks it out to De La Rosa. De La Rosa's going to move over to the left. Actually, that's Allie Thomas. My bad, Allie Thomas. And then they pass into Lewis. Lewis pulls up, took a little 15 jumper. It won't fall. The ball's on the court, and coming up with that is Jayla David. That's her 4th rebound. Gives it off to Mojica. Mojica, no room. Kicks it to Armitage. Armitage back to Mojica, and that left Mojica clear to take that shot. She was right on the line, but I think they are calling it a 3 for Mojica, her second tray of the game.
And 11 points.
And stolen by Armitage right at midcourt. Caught Clovis snapping. She leaves it off for Mojica. Mojica, top of the arc, takes another 3. It won't fall, but Clovis with the rebound. They pass it down on the left side, pass it back to Lewis in the lane. She goes up from the left, no good, but she traveled before she took the shot. So that is a turnover number 16 for Clovis. Give it to Hobbs. They inbound, give it to Armitage. She'll run the point, crosses center court, gets it to Mojica on the right wing. Mojica going to drive in, pull back, thinks about the 3, gives it to Cunningham. Cunningham now gives it right back to Mojica in the right corner. Hobbs just going to pass and look, set things up. Muniz has got it now, top of the arc, into Armitage. She's going to drive in the lane, kick it to Kendall Cunningham on the right corner, and she puts it up. It's not in 3-point range, but a beautiful shot by Cunningham, and she's got 6 points in the game, makes it 34-10. Hobbs leading.
Kendall's very good from that 12 to 15-foot range.
She is very dependable in there. Clovis brings it down. They get it to Lewis, who drives the lane, puts up a shot from the right side. It hits the backboard, and no good, but she is fouled. Let's see, they call that on number 15, Mojica. That's her first foul, and only the 4th team foul on Hobbs in this first half. 1:15 left to play in the second quarter, and the first shot is up and good. So Lewis, first trip to the line. She now has 7 points in the game. She'll have another shot at it. It's 34-11 now. 1:15 left to play in the second. So almost halftime here, and Hobbs is well in control of this, but you don't want to just let loose. And the second one, no good. It pops up, and that's going to be Clay with the rebound. I've got her for 3 rebounds in the game. She's just going to take it, work around the arc, pass it. Now Mojica's turn. Mojica drives the baseline, bounce pass over to the right to Vasquez, I believe. Now they kick it out to Hargrove. They get it to Clay. Clay works in, kicks it back out. Hargrove to Clay. Now to Mojica in the left corner. Get it to Cunningham in the lane, then they kick it right back out. Now Hargrove's got it. She drives in, and from that 15-point range, no good. Bounces off. Cunningham tries for the rebound. Instead, it goes off her hands and out of bounds.
But they're going to say
that Thomas had a hand in it after it left Cunningham's hand. So it'll be Hobbs girls basketball, and Mojica will take it. Mojica will inbound it from right of the basket. She gets it into Cunningham. Cunningham right there underneath the basket, puts it up and in from the left for 2 more points for her. 36-11 now. Hobbs leading this one. 29 seconds left. De La Rosa crosses timeline left side. Getting worked on hard by Hargrove. Gets it over to Roach. Roach pulls back midcourt. Now top of the arc. Back to De La Rosa on the left side. Clovis looking for room. Then they do pass it to Thomas. And Thomas to Lefevre. Lefevre takes the shot. Won't fall. And Cunningham skies for another rebound. A pass down to Hargrove. Hargrove into Clay. Clay in the lane. She puts it up and in. And time runs out at halftime. Your score is 38-11. Your Hobbs girls leading the Lady Wildcats of Clovis in this one, in this District 4-5A Tournament Championship game here at Tasker Arena. And we will be back in just a few minutes with your halftime show here. It's Hobbs Girls Basketball on Lee County News and Sports YouTube, Facebook, Eagle 100.5 FM, and HobbsAmerica.com. Welcome back to Tasker Arena. I'm Dawn Morgan with TJ Miracle and Jonathan running camera, and we are here at halftime where your score is 38-11. Hobbs girls leading this one. It was 19-6 at the end of the first quarter, now 38-11 at halftime. And here is how we got to the scoring. Zarai Lewis has the most points and really is leading the way for Clovis. She's got 7 points and 5 rebounds on the board. Also, Shalonda Lefevre has 2 points and 5 rebounds for the Lady Wildcats, and it's Jefferson with 2 points and 3 rebounds, and then you have Thomas with a rebound. So that's it as far as the scoring and the production on the books for Clovis. That's how they get to their 11. For Hobbs, your leading scorer thus far, Nakaya Mojica with 11 points. She's got 2 rebounds to go with that and a steal. Then you've got Kendall Cunningham with 8 points, 6 rebounds, and a block. And then you've got Bryn Hargrove with 8 points, 1 rebound, and 2 steals. And then Brett Clay has 5 points, 3 rebounds, and a steal. And 3 of Clay's points were from the line. And then you've got Elena Armitage on the books with 3 points, and that was a 3-pointer that she shot. Then Kaislyn Muniz has 2 points in the game, and Alana Bolton has 1 rebound. So that is your offensive production and your rebounding for the Hobbs girls. That means 5, 6, 9, 14 rebounds in the first quarter, in the first half though for Clovis. And that means 3, 5, 6, 12, 16, 17 rebounds for Hobbs, if I do my math right.
Yes.
In that first half. And not a lot of fouling. The fouling has all been by Clovis in that first half. And Clovis has only been to the line once, and that was Zarai Lewis, and she was 1 for 2 at the line. And Hobbs has just not committed very many fouls, and most of them, as you see, are on the floor. But Hobbs has been to the line, and shooting 3 of 4 at the line tonight is Brett Clay. And then also going to the line was Mojica. She is 1 for 1. And then you've got 1 for 2. Jayla David is 1 for 2. So Hobbs has only missed 2 from the line tonight. And, of course, the scoring has been all Hobbs all the way in this one. They really have had control of this since the very beginning of the game without any doubt. They put up the first 10 points unanswered by Clovis, who finally got on with 2 points, and then they've only managed to score 9 more since then, TJ.
Well, they certainly have. Hobbs has done a nice job shutting them down. Every time it looked like Clovis might start getting just a little bit of breathing room, might start trying to chip back into it, well, Hobbs' defense would just pick up the pressure, force a turnover, take it down on a fast break, and get a score or get a foul, find some way to get in the books. And, well, that's related to what you see on the board with a 27-point lead here at halftime.
Yeah, and Clovis turning over the ball 17 times, and Hobbs only turning the ball over 7 times, and Hobbs able to make points off of those turnovers. And when Clovis has turned it, or Hobbs has turned it over, Clovis has not capitalized on that. So again, you've got really Hobbs firmly in control of all aspects of this game, as far as scoring the points, as far as rebounding, although Clovis is keeping it tighter in the aspect of the game than any other. And then Hobbs turning the ball over far fewer times, and Hobbs committing far fewer fouls in this one tonight. So if Clovis is doing anything fairly well tonight, it's rebounding, but they're not able to turn those rebounds into scores. Hobbs has turned around forced turnovers and taken the ball away and denied second and third looks at the basket too. Clovis is rebounding, but they're not getting a lot of offensive rebounds, so they're not giving themselves more opportunities to make baskets because they're just not taking as many shots. So we come in, just a couple of minutes left in your halftime. This is your halftime report here, and your Hobbs girls leading this one 38-11. Your score. We'll be back in a couple of minutes to get the third quarter underway here at Tasker Arena. I'm Dawn Morgan with TJ Miracle, and Jonathan is running camera, and we're here, and you're joining us with Hobbs Girls Basketball on Lee County News and Sports YouTube, Facebook, Eagle 100.5 FM, and HobbsAmerica.com. and welcome back to Tasker Arena for Hobbs Lady Eagle basketball on Lee County News and Sports YouTube, Facebook, Eagle 100.5, and that is on the radio and on our stream and at HobbsAmerica.com. I'm Dawn Morgan with TJ Miracle and Jonathan on camera. We're here, and your Hobbs Lady Eagles are ahead in this one, 38-11 at half, and the teams are out ready to get this third quarter underway. Your starters are back out on the court for Hobbs: Clay, Mojica, Hargrove, Cunningham, David. Mojica leading in points, but you've got Hargrove and Cunningham with 8 points apiece. Clay with 5, 3 for Armitage, 1 for David, a couple for Manice as well. So really a good first half for the Hobbs girls. They were playing in a very controlled, calm fashion. I mean, there's definitely are out there working hard, and that smothering defense, forcing turnovers, doing a good job. They need a second half just like it.
Business-like.
That's right, business-like. I like that. They inbound center court in front of Taskovich, pass it off, give it to Hargrove. She works in, can't find any room, kicks it out to Clay. She's going to drive in, little spin move in the lane, kicks it out to Hargrove, thinks about the three, then moves across to the top of the arc, gives it off to Mojica. Mojica to David. David directs traffic, kicks it out to Clay. Clay, top of the arc. She pulls up, tries to pop a three, in and out, won't go. Cunningham there for the putback, the rebound, and the putback is good.
That's her 10th point of the ball game.
That's it, and she's close to a double-double. 40-11 your score now. Clovis coming the other way. De La Rosa's got it on the right side, getting worked on. That tough defense. They give it off to Lewis. Lewis drives the lane and puts it up from the left, up and in. She's got 2 more points, 9 in the game now.
Actually, 9.
Yep, and makes it 40-13. Coming down center court is Clay. Clay gets it over to, actually, Bosquez. Bosquez. Hargrove in the game. Hargrove. And a shot is up and no good. And then a steal by Mojica. She takes it away from Jefferson. And Cunningham comes in and puts it up and in for 2 more points. So a nice steal by Mojica. And Clovis has it now. De La Rosa with the ball. Getting worked on by Mojica and Hargrove. They give it to Lewis, and then they're going to say, Lewis, I think they're going to call the foul, an offensive foul on Lewis, and that's her second, and that's the first team foul against Clovis in the second half. So give the ball over to Hobbs. Mojica inbounds, gets it to Clay, walks across timeline, center court, gives it to Hargrove on the right side. Hargrove drives in. She's going to take it in from the left. A little nice left hook action. Beautiful. Even against a defender, she puts it up and in. Hargrove with 10 points now, too. 44-13. Just a little over 6 minutes left to play in the third. Clovis finally moves across the timeline. They get it into Roach. Roach drives in, no room, kicks it out to Jefferson. Now Jefferson gets it to Lewis. Lewis trying from the left side. I think they're going to call a foul. They are.
Yeah, I think
they're going to call it on Cunningham, I think.
Yeah, I would
Cunningham
think so.
and Clay were right there, and David were right there. Yep, it'll be on Cunningham. That's her first foul and first team foul on Hobbs in this second half.
Just a little bit of a bump. It was on the floor.
Yep,
it's going to happen. No big deal.
On the floor, not shooting. So Lewis passes it into De La Rosa. De La Rosa takes a three, but it doesn't fall, and Mojica fights for the rebound and gets it. She's going to bring it down herself, gets it to Cunningham right there on the left side underneath the basket. She puts it up and in, gets fouled. Count the bucket, and fouled. And she gets fouled by Thomas. That's the first foul.
Actually on Thomas.
Yeah, that's what I said, on Thomas.
Oh, I thought you said on Lewis. I'm sorry.
No, first on Thomas. And second team foul. Cunningham at the line, and she gets 3 the old-fashioned way. Makes it 47-13, and makes it, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 points in the game for her. Clovis has got it. They bring it down, and Jefferson had it. Going to do a bounce pass in the lane, and she was going to bounce pass in the lane to Lewis, but she took that extra slide step. She knew it. So another turnover for Clovis.
Important possession for Hobbs. If they can score on this possession, they get it to the 35.
Oh,
and
it's taken away. A pass to Clay is interrupted by Jefferson. She takes it down herself after the steal and lays it up and in. So Hobbs has got it. Hargrove come down the other way. She stops near the top of the arc and pops it. So 2 more points for Bryn Hargrove. She's got 12 in the game. Now Lewis with the rebound. She's got it. Gets it over to De La Rosa. Or is that Thomas?
Thomas.
Thomas looking for room, actually runs out of room and goes out of bounds. So another turnover. Let's see, I've got that
good
as
pressure
19. There. Good pressure by
21.
Hobbs. 21 turnovers now for Clovis in this
Mojica
game.
was all over and forced her to dribble on that sideline over there.
Mojica is so good at that smothering defense. She forces a lot of turnovers that way. She gets the ball, passes it off to David. David tries to pop one from the top of the arc. Hargrove with the rebound. The putback no good. Fight for the rebound. It goes out of bounds, and they're going to say it is Clovis basketball.
Yeah, going to be a foul on Hobbs on the rebounding, and it'll be on Hargrove.
And Hargrove, so she picks up her second foul of the game. That's the third team foul against Hobbs in the second half. Clovis inbounds. Lefevre passes it off. They get it to Lewis. She drives the lane, tries to put one up, and it hits the backboard. Coming down, there's a fight for the rebound, a tie ball between Cunningham and one of the Clovis girls, Ulabari. And the arrow goes the way of Clovis this time. So Jefferson will inbound. And subs coming in for Hobbs, Manise, Armitage, and Lefevre, or actually Zepeda come in, and David, Hargrove, and Mojica come out. So 49-15, your score. Hobbs in the lead. Clovis inbounds. Bounce pass to Jefferson. Jefferson passes out to Ulabari. She tries a shot, won't fall. Jefferson with the rebound. She passes it off to Lewis. No room in the lane, so Lewis gets it back out beyond the arc. Clovis passes it around. Now Jefferson's going to drive into the lane, and from the right puts it up, won't fall. Fight for the rebound, and Clovis has it. That's Lefevre with the rebound, and the putback is good. Makes it 49-17. Hobbs leading, 4:09 left to play in the third. Armitage brings it down. Leaves it off for Zepeda. Zepeda passing off, trying to find Cunningham. It goes out of bounds. Last touch, though, by Clovis. Knocked out of bounds. So it'll be Zepeda inbounding from just to the right of the Hobbs basket. As she trying to find somebody open. She does to Armitage. Jefferson's there to knock it away, but she gets Armitage on the hand. Gets her on the hand, the wrist. So it is going to be the third foul on her. And the third team foul against Clovis in the second half.
Yeah, I think desperation's setting in a little bit for Clovis right now. They know Hobbs is getting closer and closer to that 35 up.
It's on the floor. It's inbounded by Cunningham. Cunningham to Hargrove. Cunningham gets the ball back in the right corner and pulls the trigger on a three, but it hits the backboard, goes out of bounds. And they're going to call a foul on David. And that is the first foul on her, third team foul on Hobbs in the second half. So give the ball to Clovis. Lefevre's got it. Inbounds to De La Rosa and passed back to Lefevre. Lefevre drives, gives it to De La Rosa. She pulls up outside the arc, tries to pop a three. It goes in and out. And the rebound is going to go out of bounds. And they're going to say it's Hobbs girls basketball. Armitage will inbound just in front of the visitors section. Gets it to Hargrove. Hargrove comes across the timeline, center court. Back to Armitage. Now to Cunningham in the left corner. Cunningham drives in and is going to put up a shot, but she's going to get fouled, I think, by Lefevre.
Yeah, I think so, as Lefevre was really blocking her out, was trying to get the feet set and did not.
I think Cunningham saw that Lefevre was still moving and decided she was just going to press the issue, force and muscle her way in the lane and try to put it up. So Cunningham at the line. She is 1 for 1 at the line tonight. She eyes it, skies it, and nothing but net. Drops it in. She'll have another chance. So need to mark that foul on Lefevre. 50-17 is your score here with 3:27 left in this third quarter. Hobbs needs one more basket to be up by 35. They don't get that one. The second one no good, and that is De La Rosa with the rebound. She passes it to Thomas. It goes knocked out of bounds, but good hustle by Manise over there, so it stays Clovis basketball. Clovis passing around. Lefevre in the right corner with it. She gets it, passes it off to Roach, and knocked away by David, and then it comes up. So really David knocked it away, and Hobbs picks it up out of the steal. They give it to Armitage. Armitage tries a three from the right corner, won't fall. David saves the pass, but then the ball ends up getting controlled by Clovis. Lefevre's got it. She'll bring it down top of the arc, leave it off for De La Rosa. Out to Allie Thomas. Oh, yeah, and in that handoff there between Thomas and De La Rosa, there was a travel. So another turnover by Clovis. Give it to Hobbs. 50-17, still your score. 2:48 left in the third. And that is Hargrove with the ball. Moves it across. Or actually, that is Zepeda with the ball. My bad. I've called Zepeda Hargrove a couple of times now in this second half, and I apologize. Pass into David in the lane. She puts up a shot, and it does not fall, and that's Roach with the rebound. Leaves it off for De La Rosa. De La Rosa across timeline. They're going to say she palmed the ball. Little double dribble. So give it to the Hobbs Lady Eagles. 22nd turnover for Clovis.
24th.
24th. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So I think that's bad, and it's even worse. So some subs coming in for Clovis as Roach goes out, and I think De La Rosa goes out. And Hobbs inbounds. That's Zepeda midcourt. Gets it over to Manise on the left side. Manise into Cunningham. Cunningham in the left block. Muscles around. Little nice turnaround jumper. And Cunningham lays it up and in for 2 more points.
It has been the Cunningham quarter. She has 10 points in the quarter.
Yeah, and 2 of those at the line. Coming the other way, Clovis's ball. Lefevre has it, and she puts it up from about 15 points, up and in. She's got 6 points now for Clovis. 52-19 your score. Lefevre with the ball coming down. She pulls up at the free throw line, tries to put it up, won't fall, and that's Lewis back in the game for Clovis with the rebound. Lewis going to take it down herself across the timeline to the right, drive into the lane. No room. She bounce passes into Jefferson, and a whistle sounds, and they're going to say she traveled with it as she had it. Clovis does not like that call. Clovis is kind of screened out by 2 of the Hobbs players. They really couldn't see that she did, in fact, travel on that. They don't like it.
And Coach Reed
doesn't like it either.
An earful.
Yep, Coach Reed does not like it. He didn't think that she traveled with the ball. He thought that she passed it off before she traveled, but it did not happen that way from our view. Hobbs with the ball. Another turnover by Clovis. Bring it down, get it to Cunningham. Left side, Cunningham trying to pass in the lane. I'm actually not sure who that was meant for.
I think maybe Zepeda.
Yeah, Zepeda and David were there. So a turnover by Hobbs gives it to Clovis. Clovis brings it down. That's Lewis with the ball, and they're going to call a foul on Hobbs.
Yeah, I got to put it on Muniz. She was trying to get away from her, but kind of turned around and threw the hip as she did it, and so the little bump there is enough to stop the action. Stays Clovis ball, as you mentioned.
As it does, and that's the second foul. It's on the floor, second on Manise. They inbound, get it back to Thomas. Thomas pulls up, takes a shot, won't fall. Jefferson skies for the rebound. Her putback is no good, but it hits the top of the backboard, automatically goes over to Hobbs. Does that count as a turnover?
No.
No.
Just a shot and no rebound.
I've had that thought before, and I haven't looked that up. So
as Coach
I think
Reed
I've known that before and forgot it. Yeah, he's still mad. Even though Hobbs, the referees kind of made it good by calling a little ticky-tack foul back on Hobbs and kind of even things out. But Clovis is down, 52-19
33
right now.
points.
A minute 13 left in this third. Hobbs 52, Clovis 19. Mojica with the ball, center court. Leaves it off for Zepeda. Hargrove back in.
It's the hair.
Yeah, it is. It's similar. And no good. Stolen away by Clovis. So a turnover for Hobbs. Jefferson has it. Top of the arc. Gets it to De La Rosa or to Thomas. And Thomas back to Lewis, who drives the lane, puts up a shot, but whistle sounds. She's fouled before she puts up the shot. Actually turns it over. I thought the whistle was going to be bad news foul against Hobbs, but nope. She traveled, so another turnover. Give it to Hobbs. And now that's Hargrove, center court. Hargrove over to Mojica on the left wing, outside the arc. She drives in, thinks about putting it up, kicks it out, and instead the shot is taken and no good. And that is Jefferson with the rebound.
Kano on the shot. She just checked in.
Right, so no good on that shot, but good hustle. Hobbs keeping Clovis out of the paint until Jefferson drove in, then kicked it out to Lefevre, and a fight for the rebound. And I think that actually was Kano with the rebound. Kano, and they bring it down, give it to Mojica in the right corner, and she's deadly. You leave her open without anybody in her face, and that's what you get. She popped a 3, makes it 55-19, and It's the end of the third quarter. 55-19 is your score, and we'll just keep it right here. Well, we'll be back in 30 seconds with more Hobbs Lady Eagle basketball from Tasker Arena. And welcome back to Tasker Arena for Hobbs Girls Basketball on Lee County News and Sports YouTube, Facebook, Eagle 100.5 FM, and HobbsAmerica.com. We've played 3 quarters of this ball, and Hobbs has dominated all 3. It was 19-6 into the first, 38-11 halftime. Now after 3, 55-19. And Hobbs just needs to finish this game. Probably Joey Carpenter going to continue to let some of his bench get good minutes in the last quarter of this, but he is going to bring out, looks like it will be almost all of the starters coming out. It is a Mojica, Clay, Zepeda, Hargrove, and Cano, and Bosquez. Thank you. I could not see Bosquez over there in the corner. Students were blocking me out there. So we'll get the fourth and final quarter of this game on the way. This is going to be
running clock here, so
this
will go pretty quick.
55-19. That's more than a 35-point lead, and that determines that the clock will run. Mojica's got it. She drives in and kicks it out to Bosquez. Bosquez back to Hargrove, top of the arc. Back to Bosquez in the corner. And a pass into Clay goes wrong, and Clovis picks it up. So a turnover by Hobbs. And that is Roach back in the game for Clovis. She's got it, drives in, gets it to De La Rosa. De La Rosa to Lewis. Lewis getting worked on by Hargrove, and they pass it around. That's Younger over there in the left corner, or Roach rather. And the pass finally with a shot up by Allie. No good. Allie Thomas, no good. And the rebound comes out by Clovis. Now they give it around to Lewis. Lewis ties to 3, but no good. And then that is Roach with the rebound and the putback for 2 points. Now it's 55-21. Hobbs coming the other way. And Hargrove trying to drive the lane. Gets a hip check by De La Rosa. And the Clovis faithful don't like that. Of course, it's on the floor. They are going to call that on De La Rosa. It's her second foul. 5th team foul by Clovis in the second half. Hobbs inbounds, and they get it to Bosquez. Bosquez puts it up and in right there underneath the basket. First 2 points for her. Now it's Jefferson with the ball for Clovis. She brings it down and puts it up and in. Count the basket, and she gets fouled, I think. Coach Reed not liking what he hears. And I don't know what the problem is, because
I don't know. He got what he needed.
57-21. I mean, they counted the basket, right?
Yeah, and it gets them under 35.
That's right. So I don't know, but it does send Jefferson to the line after the 2 points. Her first is up and no good. Her first trip to the line.
That should have been her only shot, because they counted the bucket.
It makes it 23.
Yeah, they counted the bucket. That should have been it.
So. And now they're talking about that, and they do, and that's exactly right.
And they're going to give Clovis the ball. That shouldn't happen unless they called a technical, but they didn't, because girls were in the block. So I don't know what just happened right there.
Clovis ends up with the ball back. Lewis inbounds. They've got it, and that is
it should be
Allie
ball.
Thomas in the left side. Gets it to Roach. Roach into Lewis in the lane, and Lewis drives in to put it up. She's going to get fouled. I think Clay, they may call that on Clay. I'm not sure. She had her hand up, and that will send Lewis to the line. She was in the act of shooting.
Just the first on Clay.
It is on Clay. 6-team foul on the Lady Eagles, and timeout is taken. And I think this is a Hobbs timeout, as I think Joey Carpenter just wants to pull everybody in and say, out of this little mess here and the emotion.
Actually, he wants to talk to the ref to find out why we didn't have the ball after that free throw, because we should have.
Yeah, and you're right. And
it should have been our basketball, because it was not a technical, it was not on a flagrant.
Right.
Which would, but then you would shoot your free throw for making the basket, then you would shoot the text of the flagrant, and there would be nobody in the box.
Right.
And then
obviously
and
it wasn't
they would get the ball. So it wasn't a technical.
Right.
It wasn't a flagrant. It wasn't
just
a violation. It was just a regular
free throw, and it was missed.
And it should have been Hobbs basketball.
It should have been Hobbs basketball. Well, Joey Carpenter got an answer from the ref. I think the ref just said, whatever the ref said, maybe they missed it. Maybe they can't do anything about it now. It's gone. The opportunity's gone, and now a play has happened, and Lewis is now back at the line after getting fouled by Clay. Her first is up and good, so she's actually got 10 points in the game now for Clovis. Makes
actually
it
14.
50. All right, so I'm missing a 3 from her, I guess. 57-25 is your score now. Second one up and good. Hobbs bringing the ball down the other way. Hargrove's got it. She leaves it off. Gets it back. It's going to drive in. Kick it out to Mojica. Mojica pulls back, top of the arc, drives in. Now drives the lane from the left side, puts it up and in. She worked it, and even against her opponent, she ends up winning that battle. 2 more points for Mojica. Makes it 59-25. And while Clovis is in the backcourt trying to move it forward, Lewis ends up on the ground. A whistle is called, and they're going to call that on number 52, Kano.
Yeah, it'll be a push on Kano, and we'll take a 80-foot walk down the court, and Clovis will be shooting free throws.
Now, because that's the 7th team foul on the Lady Eagles in this second half. So
Hobbs can't afford to get sloppy right here because, they've got this one under control. But
it's 6 minutes left to play in this game. They're up 59-25, but you want to see they've played such a clean game to now. You want to see them finish in a clean fashion, and Zarai Lewis puts it up and in. That's her 3rd straight point at the line for Clovis. 59-26. And let's see, one of the Lady Eagles is going to go out. And we've already had the sub come in, and it's up and good. So 59-27 now. Hobbs leading. 5:56 left to go. Hargrove's got it, top of the arc, gets it to Mojica. Mojica pulls off the right wing, pulls the trigger on a 3. Nothing but net. A beautiful 3-pointer from Mojica. That's her 4th tray of the game. 62-27. Clovis coming the other way. De La Rosa with the ball. Now to Roach. Roach drives in. Leaves it off for Thomas. Thomas to De La Rosa. De La Rosa getting worked on hard. Good smothering defense by Hobbs as usual. They get it to Lewis. She drives in. And are they going to call the offensive foul? Nope, they're going to call a foul against Hobbs.
Yeah,
they're going to call a push foul. Yep, and the push foul is going to be against, is it Mojica? Or is it going to be Clay?
Clay. Yeah.
Nope,
Mojica.
It is Mojica. See?
You always are.
Nope, not always. You correct me a lot of the time. And the first is good. Lewis with another point at the line. That's her 5th straight point in the game at the line. She's not the one that you want to foul if you're going to foul somebody on the Clovis team. And her second was up and good. 62-29, 5 minutes left in this game. Hargrove brings it down. She pulls up on the right, outside the right arc, tries a 3, won't fall. And Lewis with the rebound. She's going to take it in all the way. Try a little 15-footer, no good. Thomas with the rebound and the putback, no good. Fight for the rebound, goes out of bounds, and it's going to be off of the hands of Jefferson to stay Hobbs' ball. So a couple of rebounds in there I didn't write down. Hobbs coming the other way. They pass it down to Hargrove in the right corner. She passes it in, trying to find, I believe, Bosquez, and a whistle sounds. It's going to go out of bounds, and they're going to call the foul on number 30, and that is Jefferson. That's her 4th foul, 6-team foul for Clovis in the second half. It's on the floor. Mojica will inbound just to the right of Hobbs' basket into Hargrove, top of the arc. Hargrove now hits it, gets it to Mojica. Mojica gets it to Clay. Clay on the right, just outside the arc, on the right side, getting worked on by Jefferson. She drives around, Gives it to Hargrove. Hargrove just going to take it, pull up at the top of the arc, and back to the right to Clay. Clay drives the lane, puts it up, no good. And Hobbs with the rebound. I think that was Busquez with the rebound. She's got a couple. Hobbs passes it in, trying to get it into Clay along the baseline, and they're going to say that it is that she gets fouled.
And they're going to call a technical on the Lady Wildcats.
Yes, they are. So they're going to call that on De La Rosa, the foul. That's her third. Or actually, that's her fourth.
Yeah, they got her for the tech,
Yep,
too.
they got her for the technical following that. So that's going to put Clay at the line.
Yeah, she'll shoot the
the regular,
and then and then whoever Carpenter wants to will come in to shoot the
technical after that. First is up and good, so good for Clay. Another point at the line. I've actually got her down for 6 points in the game now. I might have missed writing one of hers down, but nope, 2 for 2 at the line, and now Carpenter is going to get Clay to stay there and shoot the free throw, the technicals. So 64-29, and she stays there and makes it a third one. She'll get one more chance, shooting the 2 for technical. And that one is up and rolls home as well. So 4 straight points at the line for Clay. Makes it 66-29, and Carpenter wants a timeout. So we will take it, and it is only a 30-second timeout. We'll just keep it right here. And thank you for watching and listening to Hobbs Lady Eagle Basketball on Lee County News and Sports YouTube, on Facebook, on Eagle 100.5 FM, the radio and the stream, and at HobbsAmerica.com. I'm Dawn Morgan along with TJ Miracle, and with the call and Jonathan on camera, we thank you and we thank our sponsors: NMR Pipeline, Thriftway, Hydrotech Services, Coffee House, RMS Foods, Outlaw Grill, Albertsons Market, Eunice Pump and Supply, and Lasco Construction. Out of the Hobbs timeout, the Hobbs girls will inbound. They are firmly in control of this one, 66-29, with just under 4 minutes left to play in this game. Hobbs girls will get this win. Clovis can certainly eat away at that lead, but this is definitely Hobbs girls just need to play well, play cleanly. Hargrove takes the ball, puts up a shot, won't fall. Bosquez with the rebound and the putback. No, is that Bolton or Bosquez?
34.
It's 34. I'm sorry, Bolton called her Bosquez a minute ago. And so she gets fouled. She had a rebound and a putback. It was no good. They are going to call that on Thomas. That is the third foul on Thomas. And the first shot attempt up by Alana Bolton is no good. She'll get another try at it. Bolton at the free throw line. Second one up. Oh, it rattles front and back. No good. And Clovis with the rebound. I can't see who that was, actually.
I believe that was Erica Dominguez, just checking in.
Dominguez in the game for the first time. And they give the ball off. Lewis ends up with it, drives the lane right side, puts it up, won't fall, but she gets fouled again. How many times has Hobbs fouled her?
A bunch.
Yeah. She got fouled. She was at the line 1 for 2 in the first half. And her first free throw here is good. 2, 4, 6. That's her 7th point from the line in this second half. And her second one is up and no good. A miss. And skying for the rebound is Clay. Clay is going to bring it down herself. Pass it off to Mojica. Mojica sneaks through across the baseline, puts it up, won't fall. And the rebound by Bolton. Then Bolton passes it off to Hargrove, and Hargrove puts it up and in for 2. So a nice rebound by Bosquez. She's got 3 in the game. Coming down the other way. A bad pass is stolen away by Mojica right there on the line on the right wing. She's going to take it in, pass it off to Clay in the left corner. She pulls the trigger on the 3, won't fall. And Clovis with the rebound. That's number 2, Zunic, in the game for the first time. So 69-30 is your score here. Hobbs leading. Clovis gets it to Lewis. She drives the lane from the right side. She puts it up and in. You just saw that foul coming, and you wanted to reach out and just say, no.
Stay away from her.
No. She goes to the line. They're going to call that on Bolton, her first, and it is the 10th team foul on the Eagles in this second half. They did almost no fouling in that first half, and now in the second they have committed 10 fouls. All right, so both of those up and good by Lewis. Makes it 69-33. Hobbs has got the ball. Zepeda in the game now. Brings it down center court. Gets it off to Muniz, also in the game now for Hobbs. Passes it. Gets it to Zepeda. Zepeda drifts over. Top of the arc. Center court. Gets it to Armitage. Armitage drives in. Passes it off to Muniz. Muniz has got it. Works it out, gets it in the right corner, then they kick it out to Zepeda. They kick it over to Armitage. Armitage pulls the trigger on a three. Nothing but net from the left wing, and Armitage with 3 more points. That's her second tray of the game. 72-33, a minute 50 left to play in this game now. That is Zunic with the ball for Clovis across the timeline. They get it to Lewis. Lewis passes it to Jefferson. Jefferson is trying to pass in the lane, and it's stolen away by Bolton. Nice steal. They get it to Zepeda. She pulls up outside the arc right side, tries a three, won't fall, and Lewis with the rebound. Lewis is going to bring it down all the way, drive into the lane, put one up from the left and in. 2 more points for her, and Coach Reed wants to take a Clovis timeout, and we'll see if this is a 30 or a 60. Believe this is going to be a 30, so we'll keep it right here. Just a minute 25 left to play in this game, TJ, as you know, Hobbs has led the whole way, and here in this fourth quarter they've been able to put in a lot of their bench. The bench has seen minutes, but it has slowed the play down just a little bit, created a little sloppiness at time, but still Hobbs has continued to score, put points on the board, and we're at 72-35 right now.
Yeah, the Lady Eagles have done an overall nice job, and you know, the more you can get girls in game situations against a team like Clovis, who is going to play tough, and Coach Reed has waved the white flag. He's got his subs going in to the ball game. So now Hobbs can just, you know, get through the next minute 25. We're in a running clock situation except for timeouts and 2-shot fouls. So just get out of here and get ready to come back next Friday night and get ready to take on what comes in the playoffs.
Hobbs will inbound. Armitage to Zepeda. And they pass it off. There's a shot up from the left by Muniz. Three-pointer no good, but Hobbs with the rebound. Oh, and Muniz gets bumped. She was driving the baseline. Oh, she ended up traveling. She did get bumped, but they say she traveled before the bump. So turnover by Hobbs. Give it to Clovis. They're coming the other way. Toss, that's Zunic, top of the arc. She gets it over to Dominguez. Dominguez puts one up. It hits the backboard and goes out of bounds. So turn it over to Hobbs. Hobbs girls will get it. Armitage inbounds to Zepeda. Zepeda runs the point. Back to Armitage on the right side. Armitage going to drive around and get it to Zepeda in the right wing. Oh, and Zepeda pulls the trigger on a three from the right corner. 75-35, a 40-point lead by Hobbs. 26 seconds left to play in this, and that's Zunic with the ball. She passes it off. Clovis passing around. They get it back to Zunic. Zunic pulls up, pulls the trigger on a three. It won't fall. And a fight for the rebound. Muniz is right there. She had her hands up. She gets slammed into, but gets and there's no call. The ball goes. Yeah, they did. Okay. So I was waiting. It's on Petner. Petner, her first. And she just slammed into Muniz in the back. That looked painful. Muniz went down. She got up, though, and she will be at the line to shoot two. 75-35, 40-point lead by Hobbs. 10 team fouls apiece by Clovis and Hobbs in this one. Muniz puts it up and in. Nothing but net. She's got 3 points in this game. She'll get a second try. 76-35 now. Hobbs in the double bonus. And up and in. So 4 points for Muniz in the game. Clock is ticking down, less than a second, and now buzzer sounds. And Hobbs has won this one, 77-35. Congratulations to the Hobbs Lady Eagles on winning the District 4-5A tournament with this victory over Clovis here at Tasker Arena tonight. We will take a timeout and back to wrap this one up. You're listening and watching Hobbs Girls Basketball on Lee County News and Sports YouTube, Facebook, Eagle 100.5 FM, and HobbsAmerica.com. Welcome back to Tasker Arena as we wrap things up after the Lady Eagles win 77-35 over the Lady Wildcats of Clovis. And here is the scoring. Your leading scorer for Clovis, 21 points for Zarai Lewis, 9 rebounds to go with that. Then you had 6 points and 7 rebounds and a steal for Jefferson, 6.7 rebounds for Lefevre. You had 2 points and 3 rebounds for Roach. You had 1 rebound for Zunic, 2 rebounds for Ulubari, 2 rebounds for Thomas, and 1 rebound for De La Rosa. And for Hobbs, your leading scorer tonight is Mojica, 19 points, 3 rebounds, 2 steals to go with that. But Kendall Cunningham had 18 points, 7 rebounds, 1 block. Then you have Clay with 9 points, 4 rebounds. Armitage with 6 points. You have Zepeda with 3 points. You have Moniz with 4 points, 1 rebound. And you have Bosquez with 2 points and 1 rebound. You have Jayla David with 1 point, 4 rebounds. Then you have Kano with 1 rebound. And Hargrove, I mentioned, had 15 points and 2 rebounds. So your leading scorer was Mojica with 19 points, but Cunningham had 18. Hargrove had 15 points and 2 rebounds. And then the rest of the scoring, as I told you, and the rest of the rebounding. As far as total rebounds and turnovers and at the line, TJ has that for you.
Well, thank you very much. For the visiting Lady Wildcats, they go 8 of 12 from the free throw line, so, 66% there. They couldn't hang on to the ball for anything tonight. They turned the ball over 29 times. They did win the rebounding battle, though, 33 as a team. Zarai Lewis with 9 to be the leader in that category. For your Hobbs Lady Eagles, they go 14 of 18 from the free throw line. Good trip and good times tonight from the free throw line for the Hobbs Lady Eagles. Their leading rebounder, as you mentioned, Kendall Cunningham with 7. 27 rebounds as a team for the Lady Eagles, and they held on to the ball pretty well. Just 12 turnovers on the night for the Hobbs Lady Eagles. So all in all, things going pretty much Hobbs' way as they claim the district tournament championship tonight. Again, final 77-35.
Yes, and congratulations. They also announced the all-tournament players, and they announced the all-tournament coach, which is Joey Carpenter. Congratulations to Carpenter. And I did not write down, I was not writing down, I was getting points up on our girls, Hobbs girls, who were named to the all-tournament teams.
Well, your all-tournament team, first team, Mojica, Clay, were both on the all-tournament first team. Second team was Jayla David, Kendall Cunningham for Hobbs. The co-MVPs, Bryn Hargrove and Mariana Sepulveda from Carlsbad, but Hargrove, co-MVP, newcomer of the year, Kaislyn Muniz, and, of course, Coach Joey Carpenter, the tournament coach of the year.
And Hobbs girls showing very well, as they deserve, in the all-tournament play as well as all-district play. And all year long, it's been all Hobbs girls. It hasn't been a perfect season for them, but sometimes you don't want it to be a perfect season. You need some diversity, some people to give you, more of games. And they have had 3 losses this year. And sometimes it's a wake-up, and sometimes it's good lessons to learn, but they have still had the majority of the momentum all season long. They won the tiebreaker to be the outright regular season champions against Carlsbad, and now they have beaten Clovis to win the tournaments, the 4-5A district tournament, and surely will hang on to their number 1 ranking across New Mexico. And of course, as you mentioned, TJ, be right back here 1 week from tonight.
Actually, 1 week from last night.
From last night, right. I keep thinking this is Friday and not Saturday, because we've had Friday night games here, so I'm operating on Friday. But yes, so on Friday night, it will be Hobbs girls right back here. We don't know who they will play. We will know tomorrow night after the NMAA does the seedings and the bracket, and we'll find out which team is going to be coming to Hobbs to play. And it will be it'll be the 16th seed that will come to Hobbs. The bottom of the bracket will play the top of the bracket here at Tasker Arena, and then that is a must-win game. It doesn't matter if you've won every game up until then. If you lose that game, you do not move on to the quarterfinals of the state tournament in Albuquerque. So it's a must-win game for Hobbs, and we certainly say congratulations again to all of the coaches and the teams, and we say we will be back right here on Friday night with that game right here at Tasker Arena.
We will on Eagle 100.5, also on the Eagle 100.5 YouTube channel. And we do have, as long as the NFHS network decides not to come down, we will have exclusive video rights for that game as well on the Lee County News and Sports and the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel. So we will have the exclusive video rights to that if NFHS network does not send their crews from Albuquerque to cover that.
That's right. So
we negotiated with the NMAA for that, so looking forward to having that for you next week.
Very much looking forward to being the only place where you'll be able to see that again if they do not come down.
As long as there's no NFHS
That's right.
network.
As long as they don't come down, we will have that for you. And we have enjoyed covering your Hobbs Lady Eagles thus far all season, and we're not done yet. They're not done yet. Great job. Thank you very much to Jonathan on camera all season. Really nice job. We'll have you back on Friday night, Jonathan. Is that right? Excellent. He nodded yes. We're happy about that. All thumbs up. I will be here depending on what happens, with all of the rest of the games. We don't know exactly. I'll be here. I may have help or not. TJ Miracle may be on assignment covering other teams that night, but we will have the game for you right here. So thank you very much again for watching, for listening. Great job, Hobbs Lady Eagles, and congratulations again on all of the girls nominated and recognized for the All-District Honors, for the All-Tournament Honors, and to Coach Carpenter and the Hobbs girls. That's it. I'm Dawn Morgan putting a wrap for TJ Miracle and Jonathan. Going to say so long, good night, and we'll be right back here Friday night with your Hobbs girls basketball on Lee County News and Sports YouTube, Facebook, Eagle 100.5, and HobbsAmerica.com. Good night, everybody.